If you are serious about losing weight, the last thing you want to do is start your day with habits that work against your goals. Yet many people unknowingly make mistakes in the morning that slow down their progress. The reason this happens is because of the overwhelming amount of conflicting advice out there. You've probably heard claims that you must eat breakfast to boost your metabolism, or that skipping breakfast is harmful, or that exercising on an empty stomach is the ultimate fat-burning trick. With so many myths floating around, it's easy to see why so many people struggle to lose weight efficiently. The truth is that your morning routine can either set you up for success or create unnecessary obstacles that make fat loss much harder. By understanding the habits that hinder your progress, you can make small but powerful changes to start your day the right way. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common morning mistakes that can prevent you from losing weight and how to correct them. One of the biggest issues lies in the type of foods people eat for breakfast. Many traditional breakfast items are filled with refined flour, sugar, and artificial ingredients. And think about the typical options like sugary cereals, bagels, muffins, pancakes, waffles, and pastries. These are staples in many households, but they are terrible choices for anyone trying to lose fat. Why? Because they cause a rapid spike in your blood sugar and insulin levels. When you eat something high in refined carbohydrates and sugar, your body responds by producing insulin to bring your blood sugar down. This sharp rise and fall not only makes you hungrier later, but also promotes fat storage. This doesn't mean you need to completely avoid carbohydrates in the morning, but you should stick to whole, unprocessed options. Foods like oatmeal, whole grain bread, preferably sprouted varieties, and fruit are far better choices. They are rich in fiber, which keeps you fuller for longer, and they don't create the same insulin roller coaster as highly processed breakfast items. Choosing these healthier alternatives helps stabilize your blood sugar, improves energy, and reduces cravings throughout the day. Speaking of cravings, impulse eating is another major problem that often begins with poor breakfast choices. Highly processed foods with added sugars, artificial flavors, and chemical additives are designed to be addictive. These ingredients overstimulate your taste buds and the reward centers in your brain, making natural foods like fruit or plain oatmeal seem bland by comparison. When you start your day with something sweet and processed, your brain begins to crave more of those hyper-palatable foods. This can create a vicious cycle of sugar crashes and uncontrollable snacking, leading to overeating and weight gain. The good news is that your taste preferences can be reset. By avoiding processed foods for even a few days, your palate begins to adjust, and natural foods start tasting good again. Within a few weeks, your cravings for junk food can decrease dramatically, making it much easier to stick to a healthy diet. Another common belief that trips people up is the idea that skipping breakfast is harmful. For decades, we've been told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and that skipping it slows down your metabolism or pushes your body into starvation mode. However, this is not accurate. Your metabolism doesn't suddenly turn off if you skip breakfast. It continues to function as normal because your body operates based on your overall calorie intake throughout the day, not on when you eat. It's true that eating a meal slightly increases your metabolism due to the energy required to digest food, but this effect is temporary and doesn't outweigh the calories you consume. If you're not hungry in the morning, there's no need to force yourself to eat. Doing so just adds unnecessary calories that could be saved for later when you actually feel hungry. For some people, skipping breakfast or practicing a form of intermittent fasting can even make weight loss easier because it reduces overall calorie intake without causing discomfort. Of course, if skipping breakfast makes you overeat later in the day, then it might not be the best strategy for you. The key is to listen to your body and make choices that fit your lifestyle without blindly following old diet myths. Coffee is another morning ritual for millions of people, and by itself, coffee isn't a problem. In fact, black coffee is very low in calories and can even help boost metabolism and energy levels. The real issue comes from what gets added to it. Cream, sugar, flavored syrups, and whipped toppings can quickly turn your cup of coffee into a calorie bomb. Specialty coffee, drinks like mochas, frappuccinos, and lattes can contain anywhere from 300 to 800 calories per serving, which is as much as an entire meal. If you drink multiple cups of sweetened coffee every day, Those calories add up fast. If you dislike black coffee, there are ways to make it taste better without adding unnecessary sugar and fat. Try adding a sprinkle of cinnamon or a dash of vanilla extract. Low-calorie sweeteners like stevia can also help. These small adjustments can make a big difference in your daily calorie intake without forcing you to give up your morning coffee. Another habit that often derails fitness goals is hitting the snooze button and skipping your planned morning workout. While exercising in the morning isn't mandatory, for many people, it's the only time they can fit it in consistently. If you push your workout to later in the day, chances are higher that you'll skip it altogether because of fatigue or unexpected responsibilities. Getting your workout done early has several benefits. It eliminates procrastination, energizes you for the day ahead, and creates a sense of accomplishment that can positively influence other decisions, like what you eat. If mornings are tough for you, set up a bedtime routine that allows you to get enough sleep and wake up feeling ready to exercise. Not planning ahead is another mistake that sets people up for failure. Once you leave the house without a plan for what you're going to eat, you expose yourself to a world of unhealthy temptations. Even when you think you're making healthy choices at restaurants or cafes, you're likely consuming extra calories because these places often add oils, sauces, and sugar to make food taste better. The safest and most effective strategy is to prepare your meals in advance. Planning your breakfast and lunch the night before ensures that you have healthy options ready, and it reduces the likelihood of making impulsive decisions when you're hungry. Another common issue is obsessing over the scale. Weighing yourself every single day can lead to unnecessary stress and disappointment because your weight naturally fluctuates due to water retention, digestion, and hormonal changes. These fluctuations don't necessarily reflect fat loss or gain, but seeing the number go up can make people feel discouraged and even cause them to binge eat. On the flip side, never weighing yourself isn't ideal either because tracking progress is important for accountability. The best approach is to weigh yourself once a week at the same time of day, preferably in the morning before eating. In addition to the scale, pay attention to how your clothes fit and how you look in the mirror. These indicators often give a more accurate picture of your progress. Sleep is another factor that plays a huge role in weight loss. Many people underestimate its importance, but insufficient sleep affects hunger hormones, reduces impulse control, and increases cravings for unhealthy foods. After just a few nights of poor sleep, your body produces more ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and less leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, making it much harder to stick to your diet. At the same time, chronic sleep deprivation negatively impacts fat burning and muscle building hormones. Oversleeping isn't the answer either, as studies show that sleeping more than 10 hours a night is linked to a higher body mass index. The ideal range for most adults is 7 to 9 hours per night. Hydration is another area where people go wrong in the morning. Instead of drinking water, many opt for fruit juice, sweetened iced tea, or sports drinks. While these beverages might seem harmless, they are packed with sugar and calories that do nothing to satisfy hunger. In fact, they often make you crave more sugar later. A glass of orange juice, for example, can add 120 calories of almost pure sugar to your day. Multiply that by multiple servings of similar drinks, and you're looking at hundreds of unnecessary calories. Water, on the other hand, is calorie-free, helps keep you full, and actually quenches your thirst. If you find plain water boring, try adding a slice of lemon or cucumber for flavor. By avoiding these common morning mistakes, such as eating processed breakfasts, giving in to impulse eating, forcing yourself to eat when you're not hungry, overloading coffee with sugar, skipping workouts, neglecting meal prep, obsessing over the scale, sleeping poorly, drinking sugary beverages, and stressing excessively, you'll create a foundation for sustainable weight loss. Small changes to your morning routine can make a significant difference over time. The goal isn't perfection, but consistency. And the earlier in the day you start making good decisions, the easier it becomes to keep that momentum going until bedtime.